Well, good morning, everybody. It's serotonin. It is not even 7 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't want to watch this with you. I wanted to show you this. Facebook and cryptocurrencies are a trap. Do not participate. Make this video viral. So, first of all, I apologize. I have very chatty cats. Um, and yeah, I just literally walked in the room, so they're just talking to me. So I apologize for that. So for those of you who don't know, Bitcoins and cryptocurrencies were made almost directly after the DS, or the deep state, as we like to call them, were cut off from their own funding. None of this stuff is viable. None of it is related to an item. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's no different from the Fed. It's no different from the fiat currency that you're currently using, because it's not, each piece of currency isn't attached to a physical piece of value. So it's not attached to land or gold or a physical asset. There's no asset involved. So just how they can turn off your bank account with a switch, same with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Now, the main issue with this is that, so first of all, not only are they taking your money, because you have to buy your Bitcoin and invest in this, that, and the other, but on top of all of it, you have to register. And so by re-registering, you are resubmitting your information into this new agreement, which is cryptocurrency. And so you're agreeing to an exchange of cryptocurrency for you. So I get that you're probably thinking, well, they've got all my information from the NSA and this, that, and the other. Yes, that's fine. That's fine. Of course they do. They have everything. Trust me, they've got everything. I mean, you remember the stories back in the day. They say, well, if you've ever touched money, they've got your fingerprints, right? Yeah, I get that. It's about entering into a new agreement. That's what I don't. That's another part of it. It's giving permission again in a new context. Okay, so let's just go over this quick little article. This is one of my favorite sources. I know you guys probably recognize this. But there was a huge, like, 2.5 hour, 3 hour, let me think. Oh, yeah, getting into 4 hour blog or podcast, sorry, from Thomas Williams last night, specifically about the cryptocurrency and the Bitcoin. So I will leave a link to his featured podcast on that as well, which was run last night. Okay, so don't let the elite criminals wow you with their fancy doublespeak manifesto for the Facebook Libra or any cryptocurrency. Bitcoin, any digital currency, blockchain, open source would be the end of humanity. We have to get the truth out about this plot immediately. It's not the answer to our prayers, no matter who sings its praises. There are wolves in sheep's clothing running around misinforming the alternative news community. So please, anybody you're listening to who's telling you about the RV or blockchain or cryptocurrency, please be aware. And the channels that I know of that do this, it's Utsava, psychic medium, who for the most part gives really good information, but this drives me crazy, the fact that she's still talking about this. And the other person is the lady from You Are Free TV, who talks also about C60 and buckyballs and all this business. Anyway, there's some really interesting information about carbon C60 and buckyballs that I found out last night. I don't know if you guys know this, but that's nanotechnology. You're drinking nanites when you try that stuff. So I had my feelings about this woman for a long time, and it's just very interesting. Anyway, back to the article. Here we are. We stopped here. Digital wallets sound wonderful, but when you learn the truth about this financial system created by the CIA, NSA, GCHQ, etc., you won't want anything to do with it. Many of us understand how the globalists have misled us in the past and misrepresented things only to trap us. There is no honor in their community nor in their intent. Everything they do is for their own benefit, never ours. Just think on the Rothschilds have had like a fire sale like every couple of months since about a year ago. So this is what they're trying to get at. They masquerade as truthers and benevolent members of the alternative news community when they are the Grim Reapers. Can you see the 666 in the image below? Above, sorry, do you see the 13 for the 13 bloodlines and the other symbology? How about the skull in the one below? I understand that it's super high magnification of the back of a Bitcoin that popped up when I wasn't looking for it. As Thomas points out, why call it cryptocurrency? What's a crypt? Thomas explains more about that in the show. There are no accidents, folks. So Thomas Williams did a special show last night to alert us to this last desperate tactic by the dark to stay in control. The good news is that we are now in the cleanup phase of this war, the final countdown, but we have to work together to dismantle the last vast evil web set out to ensnare us. We must all be on the same page and not doing an undoing. Focus is required and we have accurate intelligence. We need to understand the situation. He spells it out in great detail in the following audio. When he uploads the video to YouTube, I will add that below. He connects more dots than you'll ever know could be connected. The banksters launched the Libra system last week, but they do not have the funds to run it beyond the test phase. They've had all their slush funds and bank access cut off by Kim, trustees of the Man of World Holding Trust. Which actually reminds me, don't give to charities. If you feel the need to give at this point, give directly to someone in need. Homeless Americans, Canadians, homeless people, homeless all over the world are in need of our support. So if you see someone who's legitimately looking like they need a little bit of help, or whatever, you can help who you want to help, I guess. But all of those charities are a slush fund. So when you go to the store and they're like, do you want to give $2 to children's charity? I will say, I'm sorry, not today. Or I say, I'm sorry, I only give to the homeless. Directly to the homeless is usually my response. Because so much of it is about guilting you into giving. And what you're doing is you're just lining the pockets of these slush funds again. So just keep that in mind. Okay. Again, they have had all their slush funds and bank access cut off by Kim, trustee of the Man of World Holding Trust. They are desperate and will con the people into loading their money into the Libra system to fund it. So you're basically funding these guys. Thomas explains what happens down the road, and indeed what has already happened in Canada. Oh, in case you haven't heard, people whose funds were in a Quadriga system are SOL because of the 145 million in cryptocurrencies was replaced in cold wallets by Gerald Cotton, the CEO and founder of the company. And he up and died of Crohn's disease while traveling to India, and no one admits to have access to the money. Right? Do you remember that story? Crypt plus cold wallets, you can't make this up. People who invite a cashless society because they buy into the flowery language like the secure aspect touted or the convenience they soon find themselves cut off from everything they hold dear with the flip of a switch. And once your digital wallet is set up, the NSA, etc. will be loading all your personal data, including a voice file for those who bought into the Amazon Alexa toy and have a complete digital version of you, all they need for cloning. And when they have a clone, who needs you? They can replicate you 1,000 times over. You're expendable. There's far more to it, as you will discover in the audio, and I thank Thomas for going to the effort of researching and preparing for the show, and Kim for far more than we can ever adequately thank her. Please do your part to help us eviscerate the cabal once and for all. Help protect unsuspecting people by sharing this information. When we all understand the motives behind cryptocurrency, blockchain, open source, and one world currency, we wouldn't want to touch them with a 10-foot pole. That would mean certain disaster for humanity. Another macro look at the reverse side of the 2018 Bitcoin shows you images of piracy and bony fingers grabbing your money away from you. Coincidence? Money isn't everything, not by a long shot, but with cash we have full control. Without it, we could be signing our life away and could get very ugly. We have to stop this underhanded evil attempt to destroy us in our tracks. Ignore this warning at your own peril. Listen ASAP to the fascinating intelligence briefing from a man who has been in the trenches a long time. and was lucky enough to survive multiple attempts to take him out. As Thomas reminds us at the end of the show, no fear. We have one, but the mopping up is important as how we deal with these despicable people left roaming on the planet without a moral compass, motivated only by greed and a false sense of superiority. I would boycott the Dimensions of Disclosure event in Ventura, California in August until a few select imposters are removed from the rosters. They don't deserve a red cent. THI Special Clowns in a Panic link below. Do some research. Here's more. One World Beast currency, 666 seconds you can't afford to miss. Facebook coin is a Trojan horse of corporate oligarchy. So I will be leaving all the links. I'm not going to leave the links for the One World Beast currency and the Facebook coin it's a Trojan horse of corporate oligarchy, as I haven't actually listened to those, but I've read this, and I listened to Thomas Williams last night, so I can verify those. So you can go ahead and take these links through this link, which I will be putting in the video. So guys, happy summer, and I hope this was helpful. Please pass it on, spread it far and wide. Thanks so much, guys. Godspeed, everyone.